All right, welcome to a dev input session with Misbehavin and myself. We're talking about Enshrouded, keen developer out of Prague in the Czech Republic. It's about 7 o'clock where they're at right now. So just maybe, as I posted the link in the Discord, uh, somebody will be watching. I read a little bit about the company and saw that the owner is a big advocate for AI and working on developing general AI, which I find fascinating, but it's almost a whole topic into itself. But what we're going to talk about are some of the um, what we would call kind of game breaking aspects of classes, or just like not quality of life things, more like things that things that should not be.
Balancing.
Yes, balance.
I wouldn't I wouldn't say any of these things are necessarily game breaking yet because I'm on my fifth character, leveling up a fifth character because I enjoy the game very much. So
But what if you had that warrior that you wanted? Would you still be rolling tune after tune after tune?
probably because once you complete everything, it's interesting to try a new build out without deleting your old build out with a respec or whatever.
All right. Well, let's get started. I'll pop over to Misbee's screen, and this is one of the hybrid builds that he made after just finding out he couldn't be a full-on melee and survive the in-game content. So we're going to explore why that is and what could possibly be done about it. And also we're going to talk about like broken game mechanics such as uh, investing skill points into attributes that don't give you the correct attribute. And these are things that probably already have tickets in the Jira system if they're using Jira or whatever ticketing system, but we're going to bring them up, and then some mechanics issues like with the rake, uh, falling through the earth, bad things that things that should not be. So um, there's Misbee over at his place, which is very. Uh, it reminds me. I live in New Orleans, so it kind of reminds me of an old estate you might run into with all the trees and stuff.
I'm quite proud.
Looks good.
Yep. So yeah, this is my I call it the weapon specialist, but it was originally rolled as a melee, and melee was really fun. I tried doing like a tank melee, and it was really fun until I got around the Kindle Waste area on the map, and the mobs there, and the more the flying witches and the nests of bugs that there were in the elixir wells and in the shroud root areas, the more I struggled to combat those things without really tedious legwork of running and dodging and basically GTFOing all the time because I couldn't hit ranged and I can't like there's a thing where the melee doesn't hit above your head level, and so those flying bugs can sit there and bite your head but you can't hit them. That's one thing I didn't like. So there's a bunch of issues with just pure melee. Means you got to whip out bow skills and or staff skills in order to do range combat for things that are flying or constantly moving out of, like, the ranged guys. Those guys are squirrely. The archers, those guys are squirrely. And as a pure melee, I was just basically chasing those guys around. Well, I was trying to fight off flying creatures and other things, which was fun as a challenging thing for a while until it just got tedious trying to play a melee doing all that. So of course I had to spec in uh, ranged weaponry of some sort.
Yeah, because there's no stamina in the warrior, tank, and barbarian lines. I mean, if you're chasing things around, one would assume you're consuming stamina. So,
Right.
I mean, stamina management it's yeah, you need stamina. how that is gonna, like, how do you do that and allow for a pure warrior build? Well, I don't necessarily know, but I do know that having rolled a pure melee myself, that stamina, having hardly any stamina to work with, and facing the high level mobs specifically, everything else is fine. Kindle Waste is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, it is. It's fine up until you get to the end game content. Now, whether that's was intended to be a little more challenging for melee, maybe, I don't know. But when you compare it to the other classes like wizard or an archer, uh, who in the beginning, by the way, fixing the or I say fixing, but reducing the amount of twigs needed to make arrows came a little late for me because I was very much a diehard archer for my first character, and I can't even be asked to plant another seedling for a while. I seriously, I got my stock of arrows before that patch, so like it literally at least double the amount of what you would need to plant now. And I don't know if they grew slower or whatever, but you say they're growing faster now. That's good.
I put it in fertilized farm soil and it grew really fast. It was almost
Well, a
instant.
lot of yeah, that plant grows really fast. I don't, I actually don't think they changed the grow time, but
No, it just yeah,
it grows super
it grew
fast.
fast on just a regular dirt until,
Yeah.
you know, and so the farm soil and the fertilized farm soil obviously have both have an increase of their own. So I put it on fertilized farm soil because I had an open uh whatever flower bed or whatever that I planted them in, and they grew almost instantly, and I had 200 sticks like almost immediately, so it was much better.
Yeah, see, 200. Those are rookie numbers for an archer, man. It's like I need
Right.
1,000,
Well,
minimum.
that was my first set of arrows for my new character that I'm working on now, which is going to be a trickster character, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Uh, this right here is a problem. Says endurance becomes dexterity when you spend into it,
Okay, well,
which
let
is
me.
fine if you got archery in your build, but if you're not going for an archer at all and you're going for endurance in a build, which I was, and I didn't have any of this stuff allocated, um, this build that's fine. That bugged out thing, but this is the one right here that gives you dexterity when you spend in it,
All
and it
right,
says endurance.
I'm gonna respec right now to show it. Hopefully, I remember my spec. Well, we got endurance, that gave endurance. Runner, endurance gives dexterity. That is bona fide. You saw it here. That point of endurance gives you dexterity. Let's fuck around a little more and see what else
I
is
think there's one
giving.
in the trickster line that does the same thing. I can't remember for
So
sure.
here's a dexterity point in survivor line. Gives dexterity. Great. Let's go down here. There's a strength point in the athlete tree. Gives strength. No problem. Constitution, no problem. In fact, most of these are correct. Let me respec again
Yeah, I
and
didn't have any problems with any of the red skill
skill
points.
lines. You said
Yeah,
one in the trickster
it
line,
wasn't
so
trickster. I think I meant assassin. I think there's
assassin.
one in assassin that does the same thing. It's the reverse.
All
Maybe
right.
that's supposed to
That
make
makes
up for.
sense because I remember encountering it on some of my archer respecs. So here's dexterity, gives dexterity, airborne endurance. I think this might be the one. Nope, that gives endurance. All right, let's go further. Here's a dexterity, gives dexterity. Here's a dexterity, gives dexterity. Here's an endurance, gives endurance. All right, maybe where is it? I know. Oh, that was dexterity. Nothing on there. Let's go here. Here's an
Maybe,
endurance. Gives dexterity in the Beastmaster tree.
there you go. All right.
Um, here's another dexterity in the Beastmaster tree. Give or endure. That's dexterity. My bad. Okay, endurance. Beastmaster tree gives dexterity. That's two. Here's
Two
a
in the Beastmaster that are backwards?
yep.
Wow.
Here's dexterity. Beastmaster tree gives dexterity. Here's the endurance of the flame. That's working correctly. All right. What else can we check? Let's check the trickster line. Intelligence gives intelligence. Spirit gives spirit. Spirit gives spirit. Intelligence gives intelligence. And that works correctly. Let's go down the wizard tree. Spirit gives spirit. Spirit gives spirit. Intelligence gives intelligence. Okay, let's make sure that one works. Yep. So now I'm probably getting low on skill points. Let's see if I can get all the way to this one. All right, spirit gives spirit. So there, I mean, right there, you can clip. We can clip that easily and show you what's not working. It's a video bug report kind of a deal. We'll go down the healer tree next. Intelligence giving intelligence. Intelligence gives intelligence. No problems there. Spirit gives spirit. No problem. Intelligence, intelligence. No problem. And spirit, no problem there. So, battle mage tree, intelligence. Actually, didn't even see. I think it did.
Yeah, it does.
Intelligence gives intelligence, unity, and then spirit gives spirit, and intelligence gives intelligence. So those lines are fine. Constitution gives constitution in the tank tree. We'll go through this. All right, now the spirit gives spirit in the tank tree. Constitution works. Constitution works. Strength works. Strength works. And wait a minute. Oh, wrong one. Here we go. That's not it. All right. So warrior tree, constitution works. Strength, second strength node works. All right. Third strength node works. Second constitution node works. And the last constitution node works. Barbarian, strength works. First node, second node works. First constitution node works. Second constitution node works. Okay, that's that. Let's go here. Let's see if this. I've never gone to this one. That strength node between barbarian and athlete works. The one right after bash. It's like a.
Oh yeah, I've never gone there either.
All right, so athlete tree. First one gives strength. Second node strength. Third node or first constitution node gives constitution. We've almost circled all the way back around now. So let me just finish the circle. And I think it's just those few that are the problem. And if we could fix those, that'd be great. I'm missing a skill
one
point somewhere.
specifically, the endurance one on the survivor tree.
Okay, that one worked. First node worked. Second node gives dexterity.
It's the one that gives dexterity, yeah.
All right. And
that one's key because this is a very endurance related thing. And
absolutely, one extra point of endurance for yeah, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal, especially if I want to go up into this tree and get this right here, the rebound.
Oh yeah, rebound. Yeah, that's like for me that's a no brainer every time for any stand based build.
Yes.
All right, so endurance, two endurance nodes. The second one's bugged. The first dexterity gives dexterity, and the second endurance or the third endurance works. The second one that's a problem. So we go over here. And that's in the survivor tree. So we go to Beastmaster tree. Endurance first node gives endurance. Endurance second node is going to give dexterity every time. Third what is it? first dexterity node in Beastmaster gives dexterity, no problem. 1, 2, 3. Third endurance node gives dexterity. Second dexterity node gives dexterity, and endurance of the flame works. All right, so next is ranger dexterity. That point works. That's the only one in the ranger tree. Assassin tree dexterity works. I think all this works. Airborne endurance gives endurance. Let's check these two. All right. This dexterity node gives dexterity. This dexterity node gives dexterity. And this endurance node gives endurance. So it's just those two. All the other nodes that give primary attributes are working to the best of our knowledge, right?
Yep.
Except for the Beastmaster tree, endurance node.
Beastmaster and Survivor. Each of them have one.
Oh, was it this one?
It's the first.
The first
The,
endurance after
the
runner.
second. Yeah,
Yeah,
the first one after runner, and then what was it? It was
yeah.
the endurance one after VUCA language, I
I've
think.
got it. Yeah, yeah. So there's three. There's three that are broken. So the ones that needs to be fixed are the second endurance node on Survivor, the the second endurance node in the Beastmaster line from the center, and the let me make sure this is right. Okay, go up here. So this is going to give me Dex. There it is. This is going to give me Dex. So those three, the second and third in Beastmaster and the second in Survivor, are bugged and they need to be corrected. That would probably make a huge difference for archers. Maybe more than you think.
I think it would make a big difference in adding a variety to the melee builds too, because you could have like a
You
melee
could actually
Beastmaster.
skirt off on that side of the Survivor and stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because you know the
Who the
melee is
fuck needs
pretty
Dex? You need endurance more than you need Dex.
well, especially if you're melee. Endurance is a big waste, chasing stuff around the whole time and dodging and rolling and all that stuff. You need endurance for that,
Dip,
and
duck,
if
dive,
you're getting
duck, and
dexterity
dodge.
out of that, plus if you make like a melee battle mage hybrid type thing, you are not needing dexterity whatsoever because you have ranged attack with the battle mage, you know, skills going with the wands.
Yeah.
Um, you know. Anyhow,
Okay. Well, yeah, wizards. So I've got you on screen now. If you want to go try to solo some scatterbone stuff, and see how that ends for a warrior, or even weapon specialist, which is mostly warrior, but is using ranged, which it shouldn't have to. Um, you'll see. This will be interesting. Now this is solo. We've done it 2-man and had similar results.
right? I think they kind of tapered off that. I don't know. There might have been a ninja nerf to how bad Scatterbone was because I went there again and messed around recently, and it wasn't. It didn't seem quite as catastrophic. But then again, I can kind of tell that they scale.
Whoa! What did you do? Can you cancel out of that?
I can't.
Oh, there's a bug right there. Okay, we need to be able to cancel out of a double jump attack, because if you hit that shit and you're in the middle of flight, you can't cancel out of it.
That was funny.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
that was funny. You lost your rested buff. You should probably go get that. Oh Lord, you're gonna die again. Yep, you're not gonna make it, bro. Come on. Oh, just in the nick of time. You guys fucking nailed the flying. So fun.
Yeah, it's traversing this map with double jump and flying is ridiculously great.
I'm not trying to take the piss out of anybody. Just some as being on some development teams myself. I know that even though developers don't necessarily like they got so much to fix, you don't want people to not tell you what's going on. And this may be a known issue, but even still, I know that it's appreciated. So the views doesn't matter to me as much as just like it being there uh, for someone to see in case they want to see it. And I know that videos are really when you can see it for and I don't know shit about programming or anything, but if you can see it, there might be you might think, oh, I know what's causing that. I rewrite this, whatever, and it's an easier fix than someone writing a long bug report in standard format with screenshots and no video. So
I guess my body's in a weird spot that I.
I'm wondering if you die on a spire, if you're.
Oh, it might be from where I took off from, huh?
Oh, yeah, it usually is. Yep. It's going to be where you jumped from. There it is. And that's a great feature. Love that.
It is, yeah. So saved my butt a few times on retrieving.
All right, so he's going to Scatterbone as a hybrid tank because
Melee
if you saw a
slash
real tank, I don't
ranger.
know if we could show that without, a Title 17 because it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, and I'd probably start cursing. It's really brutal, and here in the Kindle Waste doing pure melee stuff. None
Yeah,
of my none of my melee characters are pure melee anymore,
right.
and it's fine that I assume that I was playing it wrong.
No, I think that there should be a place for melee, and I understand that this is a group gameplay type situation where you want to have, a filled out class. That's why the server is called Gauntlet, because it's like everyone has a role. But, melee should have the ability to survive its role. And we'll see how this works out. I have a feeling that there's micro patches, little ninja patches happening, like living code, kind of like HTML5 is considered living code. Um, I think game code will progress to that. See, you're taking on ad mobs. The aggro radius seems to be about 20 meters, which is not great for rogue types. Like your sneak attack ability is great, but it's kind of pointless whenever you do a sneak attack and then you have to run away until they leash to come back to kill one more guy. Like that's that's the kind of thing that I might do in Tenchu Stealth Assassins, but it's not something that is fun. And here's another ad. So you get lots of stuff coming in from the Shroud and then Scatterbone. The aggro radius is at least 20 meters. Um, and so he's having to contend with more and more waves. It's essentially like a wave type situation. And with limited stamina, and when endurance is giving you dexterity, like you're shortchanging the class. by only 2 points, but those 2 points, just like the Ring of Ancients, seemed like a piece of junk ring at first. But when you really think about it, it's the best. It's one of the most powerful rings in the game. Especially if you get two, you can stack it and have 100 extra health, 100 extra mana, 100 extra stamina. So shorting 2 points of stamina is the equivalent of, I mean, to make up for it, you'd have to do stamina consumables and 2 of the high level drop Ring of Staminas, I think. Nice.
Thank you. One thing to mention about that entire sequence was when that bird came in. If I didn't have any ranged in this build,
you'd have been
totally
fucked.
Yep, absolutely. There would be nothing but me running.
Yep. And it had to be done as a melee. That's something I want to point out. Like, he had to take a bow. I don't think a tank melee should have to do that. There should be no reason for that. You should be able to tank all of that stuff, face tank it.
This is the other thing. Whoa!
Whoa, that was weird.
That was really weird. That might have been me mashing too many buttons all at once. The other thing, I'm not even through the gate yet, and it's already been an extremely tedious fight.
This is true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're 26 minutes in. You've probably been here 10 minutes or 8 minutes of that, and you're not even through the gate. And they came to you. You didn't even make it to the gate. They just started running out from Scatterbone, which is kind of cool. Like, they're vehemently protecting it. That's cool lore and stuff like that. But and you got fell enemies mixed in. Like, where the hell did he come from? Some shrouded area on the left side there. But yeah, it seems like the shrouded and the scavengers just are pulling from the front of Scatterbone, and the aggro radius is pretty large. So, like, I don't have any faith whatsoever that I could go in there as a rogue and silently take out, targets of opportunity.
There's absolutely, the rogue class is not a viable class right now. The way the aggro range is on the social aggro.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be this hard. You can always roll a wizard and nuke the fuck out of everything. And I'm all about some wizards. I even wrote a song about wizards and how awesome they are. And I'll play it now while we watch Misbee continue on into Scatterbone.
I'm going to be dead in the next 3 minutes. So.
Well, that'll segue good then. Wizards. One of the things I've noticed is your melee damage has been significantly reduced compared to before, which makes me sad.
It is weird that I felt like it was, and I wasn't sure, but I definitely was kind of paying attention to it the last couple days, and it's definitely not what it was when I first started. At least not, because I come and I challenge myself in the Kindle ways to see how my new build is doing, or whatever. It's definitely oh, here's where I'm gonna die.
Alright, we'll see how many you aggroed. If it's just the one, I think you'll be alright. Just try not to get too close to the shroud, because you'll aggro from the backside too. I think I just saw a bird. Nope, I was wrong, sorry. I've done this so many times too, just going from one side, left to right, left to right.
That was a misplay. Fighting these guys just melee.
Look at his
It's
stamina.
doable, but it's so
Look at his stamina. What's he gonna do?
tedious, man. I'm about to die.
Well, you got a stam regen just there. Oh, nice. That was clutch, man.
Kind of was. I mean,
Now, not
pretty
I've
good
got to
at
go and
melee
say that
stuff.
not everyone can do this like Misbehaving can. He's been a melee he's been playing games for a long time. Very good min maxer, very skilled player. This would be more frustrating for some people.
Well, the first time I came here on my melee, even before they buffed the mobs, it was pretty tedious and frustrating. When I was mostly melee, I had to add.
There's your second green guy. And he's got an army of motherfuckers behind him. That was quickly dispatched of him. That was good.
That's because I shot him half to death with a bow. That was not melee.
Shit.
I think I just got a backstab multiplier with the merciless.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, it seems like the one-hander damage is a little less than what it used to be, which makes sense.
Well, to be fair, now that I'm not pure melee, I had to spend some of my skill points in the ranged skills tree.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
So I might not be doing as much damage as I was before because I don't have as much strength and constitution put into this build as I used to.
right, right.
But that's that's part of the gripe. The
Yep,
fact that I had to spend skill points outside of the melee tree in order to make this viable to go and do this kind of stuff.
right. And we get the argument that, or the statement that this is a game meant to be played with others, but
Yeah,
so far
but
as I know and what have been said, that as you bring more people into the game, the enemies' health and numbers are increased. So it's scalable. It should be soloable and with group content. So far as what I've heard the developers say, they encourage group play, but it should be scalable. And it's probably just a matter of like balancing all this shit out. But there are no primary resistances. The resistances aren't in. There's still a lot of like factors in that.
that might actually make a difference in the future as far as some of the gripes we're having now. So it's
Yes,
hard to
yes, they could
like
be. They could
fully
be like,
dig.
yes, we know all of this, and
Right.
we're
Yeah,
working on
and
it.
that's fine too.
Yeah,
I'm more than pleased with the way this pre-release is playing out so far. It's a very well done pre-release, and I it's all there. The foundation is there. These are just some of the things that
yep,
help move along the experience of getting it to the full development.
right.
I'm still at the front gate. I'm in the compound now.
Well,
Finally,
you're in the first area. Yep.
don't know where this jerk is that's shooting at me right now,
He's
though.
usually he's across from you, in the middle on a platform. A little to the right. There's one. Yeah, that was one.
That's not the guy shooting at me,
No,
though.
it's probably further to the right. It's kind of in the middle of a bunch of debris by the silver chest. That's kind of where he's at. Oh look,
I love the
he's
parry
at the
system in
window.
this game. It's so
Yeah,
good.
it is really good. I love it. I love the shockwave ability too, because it tends to proc when you're parrying,
Yeah,
and it
I think
knocks
it's
everything
intended that
back.
way for
Yeah,
sure.
I love that.
That was noob maneuver right there.
See, they got these dudes, these mobs specifically in Scatterbone. They're down to fuck. You know, they got a lot of buffer, and there's a bunch of them, and they're way more aggressive here than in any other place I've encountered them. So usually a merciless attack is going to kill anything that Misbee's going to do that on, but not here.
Well, yeah, that's fine too.
Yeah,
If I was able to allocate more
to the right,
points,
there he is. That's the guy that was shooting at you.
that was a
Uh
terrible
oh.
maneuver.
Yeah, you might have grabbed some more aggro.
I hear dogs.
Yeah. There's a spawn area near where you landed that has a sickle guy and a couple dogs. And we've noticed that here in Scatterbone, sometimes like the maybe it's a spawn timer is shorter, but they'll quickly respawn sometimes. It's not an every time thing. Sometimes I've come in here and killed stuff and it stays dead.
But I mean, this is kind of perfect that I picked this character because this is showing off the fact that there's a lot of stuff that I need a bow for, which is fine. If that's what was intended, that's what's intended. And I just, there's a lot of people that are going to be like, I can't
Not
play a
gonna
pure
grab that
melee.
chest, bro?
What chest? The one in here?
No, don't go back to where you came from. Oh shit.
Man, trying to parry these guys is so hard.
That chest.
Yeah, yeah, I see it.
He mad.
Yes.
There you go. And another great example. It's like the stamina.
Yeah.
It's either the stamina or the health, and the health is actually is skill like managing that with a carrot with a fighting a guy like that is skill based. Like that's fine. Elder
Nice.
chest,
Elder
nice.
chest.
Um,
This place is great because of the loot.
yep. And it should be difficult. Like we're not bitching about that necessarily. We're talking
Not at
about
all.
a class, a
I mean,
specific.
regardless of what we're talking about, you know, melee, pure melee has some shortcomings. And I feel like they need to be addressed because there's a lot of player base that doesn't want to shoot bows or use stabs with ranged attacks. They want to just get in the mix and
And be scrappy. Yeah,
yes,
it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Like the mechanics are really fun, but there's some. There's a guy behind you. He
whoa,
tried to be sneak. What the hell?
that was weird. I totally glitched. Oh,
I
now I
saw
got the
that.
entire camp on me.
Oh, cool. Wonderful.
that was a weird glitch.
Yeah, and something that's been happening regularly on our server is multiple matron spawns, sometimes seemingly never ending. I've had up to 4 matrons spawn. Sometimes they spawn at the same time. I've had 2 spawn at the same time with all of their ad mobs, which includes the green guys and the wolves, and then if you throw in a fucking bird that's
Is
coming
that a
from the
second
matron,
matron,
yeah, it
or
might
did
be.
she reset her health in that short time
It
I was
could
out of
be. It
range?
could be a second matron. I'm not sure. You'd have to fly across and see if there's another one walking over there. Because that's what I was just saying is that there will be multiple matron spawns, um, and shit like this happens where it's kind of buggy a little bit because like those wolves should have spawned near the matron, not in the wall. I've had to free a couple of dogs in order to kill them.
Right.
Um, I think it's the same one, but maybe it got
See,
reset.
I feel like I'm cheesing this because I'm not down there fighting them. I'm up on a roof where I'm out of range.
Yeah, well, that's what being an archer is. It's taking advantage of, hey, you can get you can't hit me, but I can hit you. That's not what melee is. It's melee. It could be down there.
See, I'm not the greatest archer. I should have explosive arrows and alternate things in this fight. I'm using basic. I think I'm using scrap arrows. So part of the problem here, that's making it tedious for this particular fight, is I'm not overly prepared for this fight.
Going to be explosives in that chest. Yeah, there's the other spawn area, and I wouldn't be surprised if another matron spawns, but may not happen. May happen. Did you clear it?
Nah, I mean, I think I cleared the matrons, but there's still some scumbags here.
There you go. There's another one less. Dog. Is that something? Oh, I thought it was something stuck in the ground.
I believe
There's
there's
bound to
still a
be a
green guy.
green guy. Yeah, I was about to say there's bound to be another green guy.
I'll fight him. There's another matron. I'm out.
Yeah, spawned another matron. Peace out. Yeah. So that's in-game content. This isn't even going to the Grim, uh, which has tons of fell enemies in a similar level range, and add mobs and all that as well. And then deep cut, similar situation. It's just those 3 areas. Uh,
There's a couple elixir wells before this one's not
that's still
exactly.
in Kindle Waste. Yeah.
Yeah. So some of these, are still pretty tough. I'd say I don't have a problem with them anymore. I know what to expect when I go in there, and I, know what my character is capable of in there. So I don't have as much problem with them as I did when I was first going through these areas. But this area is still a tedious battle if you're trying to have a melee hybrid type thing. Because
Totally.
if I was a pure ranger, I've seen the assassin ranger builds. I've seen them just absolutely destroy this area. But there was really no melee in that build, and so there was lots of big burst damage from the bow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was able to clear this when I encountered it, like as per progression. So yeah, that's the second matron there.
Yeah, they mad. Um, I don't know what the stance is at the company about, playing a melee build, but there's quite possible that it's working as intended for them. I
Yeah.
just think it's kind of you got to spend points in place, on the other side of the skill tree into stats, core stats that you don't really want for a melee build.
No, it makes melee, like, in order to play it relatively effectively, you need to make it as a subclass,
Yeah,
and
but
that's
either battle mage melee class or you know um, the archer one that like I got here.
mm-hmm.
It just means you spend less points in the core stats for that class, and so it's neither one of them are as effective. Like I'm not as effective as a ranger as I am not as effective as a
Melee,
melee.
right? It's a compromise. It's too much of a compromise, I think.
That was a new maneuver. See ya.
So, it's well worth the effort to get the loot and whatnot, but it shouldn't be as tedious. Um, Unless you want to go to the Grim or Deep Cut after that, I'm going to swap over and show the
Show everybody
whole.
the wizard how OP it is over here. I mean, you could just come through here and do this in a third of the time that I just did it with a wizard. In fact,
Yeah,
I did earlier. I cleared this place out earlier with a wizard, like in legitimately a third of the time.
right. Let's see here. Trying to get fast at remembering my build. Okay. Quick charge. Draft. Endurance. Jump. And that, like, it gave me dexterity. This one I don't take because it'll give me dexterity. I don't need dexterity. Blink. Alright. And what the hell else? Oh, it was up here. Almost there. Okay, yeah, these. Spear. Oh yeah. What the hell am I thinking here? Terror. Gotta have terror. Gotta instill terror into the hearts of the fell. That endurance point. And yeah, that works. Okay, so I'm not even a full wizard really, but I'll go down there and see how it works out. Go down to deep cut. Okay, let's mark that. And because I have infinite freaking fly, which I love. Please don't nerf. Is very lore friendly to be flying around all around Embervale. Because I am using 2 ring slots, like I am sacrificing something. And I haven't hit the ceiling yet. One thing I notice is on the mouse and keyboard, it's harder to get this quick change using the space bar and the right click. Like, it just doesn't happen as fast. But that, I flew all the way from, I could make it to the Sun Temple if I wanted to. That's 2,000 meters.
I love blink attack.
Yeah, especially now that I love the blink attack. Yeah,
Now
it
that I've
wasn't
had
working
it
in
for
the very beginning for me, and now it
right.
is. I love the particle effects. Love it.
I wasn't as good at it when I first grabbed it because I hadn't been playing with it, but now that I've had it for a while, it's, oh my god, it's so fun. I'm integrating it into my attack sequence much better than I was, and it's very enjoyable. There's a lot of these specialty skills that are quite fun, and then there's some that are like totally avoid in the skill tree if you can.
All right,
Like,
I'm in deep cut, and I've got acid and I've got fireballs. So we'll see how this goes. And there's already some infighting going on, I see inside there. I'll throw a fireball up in there. Looks like they got a bird on them. So this is ranged magic. And here comes the guy. Oh no, what you gonna do? Oh no. Alright, continue barrage. Okay, that might be clear over there. If not, I've got acid. It's clear. Great mace. Whoop-de-doo. Sometimes there's a guy out here, sometimes not, but there's traps. I'll avoid that area. It's hard for me not to pick up everything on this guy. This is my farming tune. But I took very little damage there, as you see. I don't have any health regen. I just use this. I mean, sometimes I equip health regen gear. I probably, I guess, should be wearing my paladin armor. But I'll do it in the rogue plate, just to try to prove a point. Alright.
Yeah, there's very little effort put into combat with the wizard builds. It's just staff, shoot them down, everything's good.
Yep, nuke them. And it's fun. That part is fun. It's just overpowered as, well, it's overpowered AF.
It's, yeah, compared to the other ones, it's not as well balanced with the other ones.
When I first started doing wizard shit, I would just get on a level playing or level field like this. And look at this. Look at that. Oh no. Level 30. Green guy. Goodbye.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucking sad, really. To all other classes. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, okay. Yeah. And you made a point off. We weren't broadcasting, but it's something you brought up. Like people who have played this game in early access as a wizard, could get bored easily with it because it's so damn easy.
Yeah, there's no challenge. The guy that we first played this game with on his server, he basically drug my character around and your character around behind him while he just blasted everything over, and he went through the game really fast, and he hasn't played since.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I played a melee to start with, because it was super challenging, and it was fun all the way. Like I said, it was fun all the way up until the Kindle Waste.
Look at that. Shroud damage. Those guys don't like that shit.
Yeah, all the human characters, the shroud damage is awesome. I just find it easier to spec all the way into the fire, because fire damage.
Look at that. Yeah.
Does everything.
All right. So I'm just basically walking around derp and deep cut. And I'm not even a fully spec'd wizard. This is a harvesting character. This part is probably the most dangerous part for me because I gotta walk across lava. And look at the range on that, man. I mean, that's crazy.
I came
Killing
here earlier
trees
today
and shit.
with my my pure healer wizard, and I absolutely mowed this camp down.
Yeah.
On a character that's more concentrated on the healing, and because I spent some points in the tank to get the earth aura and all that stuff. Yeah. And it was easy. I mean, even the matron was easy.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I don't think I would have anywhere near as easy of a time on my melee in here, because you have to fight everything, and then the social aggro, so then you've got more than one on you at a time. With the wizard, you can mow each thing down one at a time, because by the time the other ones get aggroed and start coming at you, you've already got the first guy dead.
Yep. This is another thing you can't do with I can't do with the mouse and keyboard is the really accurate landings. What is aggroed to me now? Okay, this guy over here. Hello. I will just climb up here. Oh, you're gonna come down? Cool. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Aw. Where did that come from? Over here? You two? You too, huh? Well, how about some of this shit?
You gonna heal him? Oh, that's the acid.
Whatevers.
Did you just take some damage, bro?
Oh yeah, I did. But I mean, I'm wearing my rogue plate. If I was wearing my paladin plate, that it wouldn't have redlined me. But I'm feeling that good about it, because it's wizards. Hey, green guy. Where you going? He don't want none of it. Let me refresh my stand buff. Oh, now he wants some. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Low.
One shot. One shot, one kill. Eternal acid bite. Costs you 20 ammonia glands, and the rest you can just lull all the way home. Look at that. Fucking lull. Fucking lull.
You're gonna make a lot of people unhappy if you get the wizard class nerfed.
Well, I don't give a shit because it needs to be balanced, not nerfed. It doesn't need to be nerfed. Everything feels great. it
Right.
feels great, but everything
I
else needs to be
that's
brought up to balance.
that's a really good point. Just instead of nerfing the wizard line, balance out the other two classes.
Yeah, the wizards are the coolest fucking thing, and I'm not a big fan of wizards. Like, and I'm not a big fan of fantasy games even. I'm in post-apocalyptic shit. Half of what attracted me to this game are these scavenger type enemies, because they were like, I was like, wow, that's like fantasy, dark fantasy, post-apocalyptic. I might like that. I wasn't sure, and I sure as hell don't like Harry Potter shit. But this doesn't feel like that. It feels more like Fable, um, and Minecraft, and honestly, a game that could last a very long time and have a very vibrant, wonderful community.
Yep.
With lot, and I mean, if you look at the map, I mean, their world map, we've only uncovered just so little. It's like 1/9 of what they could build. So that I would love to see. I would love to see the whole world of Embervale built out.
Did you get your gold chest?
Yeah, eagle eye boots.
Oh,
Nothing
right on.
special. I did get another set of elder gloves though, so that's good.
I got 3 pairs of them in my locker at my house.
Yeah. Any other game breaking shit we can think of that we haven't? Oh, I need to go show the. This is more of a mechanics thing, and this is related to the rake. And also, some people might be like, "Don't talk about the rake," because you can do dirt, soil, um, sand. What's the other one? The most of the
All of it.
terrain, yeah, all the terrain you can do
Dupe all of it. You could
with
place
the
down
rake,
one block and spread it about and end up with 60 blocks.
right?
It's really
And
simple.
honestly, I could care less if that stays in the game. To me, that's just like a
I think
quality of life thing. It's like
it is.
you know,
I
people
don't
have
think that
been
needs to be
playing
changed.
these voxel games, and sometimes just sitting around mining dirt for fucking hours is not something
Well,
that's
that's
fun anymore.
so far that's what this game has done that I like is that it's eliminated some of that. I feel like I'm doing chores.
Yeah,
I might as well go do the dishes in my kitchen right now instead. At least
right.
it'll be real life production instead of doing chores in my video game, which is supposed to be entertaining, not tedious.
So here where I'm at right now is a result of me trying to figure out the rake, and um, this can happen to anybody, and sometimes you'll end up falling through the map, and as there's no, I don't even think it drops a headstone, so you don't lose anything. You just fall through the map and you immediately TP back to the nearest flame shrine. But yeah, I have an option to start gliding. In that scenario, that was, not a problem. But in some of these holes you get stuck in, I might have another one over here. I planted a lot of trees, and there was some around. Maybe it was further back here. These trees are ready to be harvested. Um, yeah, it was definitely in the regular soil, so I probably covered it up with a tree. You'll end up with weird holes, and you can fall through the earth. So the rake, I don't know what the deal is. I like the way it works. It's just kind of wonky. And I do like, and I don't think it should be nerfed to the point to where you can't take a lump of dirt and spread it out. I think that's actually kind of cool.
I got to be honest, some of this might be from digging.
Oh, this was before. This was happening before I dug all that copper out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So, but I don't want to see the rake get nerfed where it's like, okay, you can't dupe dirt, because then we're all going to be out there digging dirt and I think a lot of us don't want to be doing that.
No, I mean if that's some of the survival games where all you do is do survival tasks, I guess that's cool. You know what I mean? But this is kind of a hybrid. It's a survival slash RPG game. So if you're
Hmm.
spending all your time doing dirt farming somewhere, just you're not doing the RPG part of the game. So
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like we played another game that was a hybrid RPG FPS, and yeah, it's like I guess putting the RPG element into games is it's tricky. You know, it's balance is always. I was told by some developers that it's an ongoing thing. It's always
well, yeah, gamers break everything eventually,
right.
which means nerfs and upgrades, and
Yep.
it's a
So
constant battle to balance it for sure.
the wizard gameplay is probably some of the funnest gameplay thus far. I really enjoyed the early Archer game until I had to farm ungodly amounts of arrows, and then I just became apathetic and rolled a wizard. So, but the wizard is really fun. Archer is also very fun with Eagle Eye, like for those high skill cap players that want to, do fancy Legolas type shit. A lot of fun, but nothing compared to wizards, and probably just a bit better than warriors. And that may be the intended thing or not, but that's our dev input. That's all I've got right now. Uh, Miss B, do you have anything else at the moment?
No, I mean I've really enjoyed playing this game with all the different styles. I'm working on my first trickster slash um, assassin build, and so that's going to be a full new style that I haven't played yet. So I really enjoy all that stuff. I just I really like playing melee classes, and that was a little bit disappointing and underwhelming when it got towards end game.
Right.
That's all.
But really, up until in game, I enjoyed the melee that I rolled.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was really
but
fun.
it
I
was
love
really
the
disappointing. Yeah, it was really fucking disappointing when I rolled up a scatterbone. I'm like, oh man, I just can't do this.
right. Yeah, I mean that first fight outside the gate where I had flying creatures coming at me as well as 4 or 5 mobs, chasing me down. It was a bit overwhelming, and while I didn't die, it was tedious to
Yeah.
do, and it took me forever to get my foothold into that camp as a melee. Whereas you went in there with a wizard and blew the whole camp up, and
Right. Yeah. In
and
minutes. In
yeah.
minutes.
So the block parry system is wonderful, and I want to be able to play almost a pure melee class. I understand that if we have to, we got to spec in some bows, but let it be known that if you have to spend points in the dexterity side of the skill tree, you're losing melee capabilities or tank melee capabilities. You have to do a pure warrior with some assassin or and ranger stuff. So it was a little disappointing
Yep.
not being able to like spec a full melee class because I couldn't fight the non-ground troops, and even then the ground troops were tedious to fight because I wasn't doing big damage.
Yeah. I thought of one more thing. Um, the since the wizard has basically a full arsenal and a fully fleshed out class that can handle everything the game can throw at it at in game, whereas the archer can do so, but it requires some resource farming. It was you guys fixed it, or you improved that, so that's great. But the warrior and tank lines, as far as having a fully fleshed out end game, I don't know what you'd call it, strategy with going all in. It's just not there. It's there with the wizard. Um, and the thing I wanted to point out was that skills like Radiant Aura, Sun Aura, and Frost, like those are abilities that just don't even exist in the tank warrior barbarian. The closest thing you got is Blood Rage, and Blood Rage is awesome, but investing into that, it doesn't seem like a lot, but um, it is 10 points just to get. That's 15 points on the last three there. So a point reduction could be something that would be viable, but um, my point is that these kind of like um,
Boosts, damage boosters.
yeah, boosters that are like towards the end of the tree that are sort of like I would capstone ability type stuff. I mean, even in the healer line, you have water aura and martyr and waters of life. It's just you could argue that battle heal is going to help, and it does, it totally does. But it doesn't have the caliber of skill. Like Radiant Aura is fucking powerful. 10 meters, one fire damage per intelligence per second. Now you do the math
And
on that. I'm not going to do it, but I'll tell you that all the way up to level 18s, you can just pretty much walk around and then people will die.
yep.
Um, and then Sun Aura is an modifier of it that additional one fire damage per intelligence. And if you happen to go all the way down and get, where's the one that gives intelligence per flame level? Um,
Uh, I think it's in the battle mage, or maybe it's at the end of the healer. I can't remember.
yeah, that's not it.
There it is.
Exalted, yeah. So yeah, if you were to go, and the guy that we played with who was a wizard, he did do that path at first, but he was too glassy for his taste. But a good, not saying he wasn't good. It's just it was an brand new game. Like he's actually a really amazing player because he just go from a brand new game and just start figuring out the meta of everything. Uh, so yeah, once he was carrying people through level like doing level grinding and stuff, he just didn't like being as glassy. But if you're a wizard that's gonna stick around and party up and play the game, uh, Exalted might be for a higher skill cap player the way to go. But again, that's even more intelligence and the Sun Aura. That I'd be willing to test, and I may test to see if I could go to Scatterbone with all of this stuff and see what kind of damage it's doing, and just buff the intelligence to the gills. I could probably get it to 24. How many intelligence are in here? Oh yeah,
I'm sure you can get it to
22,
24. I've
22,
got
24, and see what that does because Exalted would put, yeah, that's what would put you to 24, I think.
yeah,
And
might even be
so
more
that
with
is, what is it,
consumables.
one fire so two fire damage per intelligence. That's 48 fire damage per second with Exalted. I mean, I can't imagine having to do much else. Like maybe flick it. You're like, okay, you're almost dead. Hit. And you add staff damage to it. It's just wow. Like that shit is awesome. Let's get some of that kind of action going on the other sides of the trees. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean 114 damage from the Eternal Flame Fireball or whatever. there's no comparable weapon in the melee class where you're doing that kind of base damage, without modifiers. So 114 damage with all the flame modifiers for fireball, there needs to be something comparable in uh, the melee class.
and the ranger class.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
there's something a little more like ranger class is a little more tricky because you've got the arrows, you've got ammo. But I'd say it's no more or less complex than the decay rate on one handers. You know, you carry more than one hander, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah, because the wear and tear on those goes pretty quick.
Yes.
So I equate that to a similar issue as to having resources, arrows. But
But if there was a little bit more damage modifiers to the melee weapons, they wouldn't wear out as fast, and I can stay in the fight as long as a wizard did, you know. And the only way for a ranger to stay in there is for the arrows to, you know, be more available, which they addressed. So that's helped a lot.
well, it has helped a lot, but I took multi-shot out of my build because I still can't afford that amount of
Right?
arrows.
No, it's pretty intense.
Maybe I could if I was continuing to farm, but I basically farmed uh the twigs and flax nonstop, nonstop for days, and I'm just like, you know what? These twigs, man, these fucking twigs, and this is just so that I can go out and do quests. So, anyways, yeah, bring everything up to this level of badassness and fix the, for the love of God, fix the endurance nodes. Like, for the
Yes,
love of God, fix that. It's a
yes,
small change that would make a huge fucking difference. Guaranteed, if nothing else, that would make a huge difference for melee and mage hybrid builds, hybrid mages, hybrid melees, um, and hybrid archers. So that's it for our little dev input gripe session. I'm Crow Bennett. Let me show my character here. Crow Bennett, and this is Misbehaving. And we'll be back with more Enshrouded shit in the future. We love this fucking game. This is the first game we've played together this much since Fallen Earth and from 2009 to 2000 whatever 19.
well, yeah. I don't count those years after 2014. The
Yeah.
game wasn't the same.
So we dig it. We're trying to help, trying to be helpful. We'll do other content too, but the endurance thing I think was worth a video all on its own. But there was extra
For
stuff in
sure.
there, and you can watch it at 2 times speed because it's probably how fast your brain goes if you're a developer. Um, and yeah, thanks for the game. Thanks for the awesome game. Keep working. Keep working at it.
Yeah, I love it.
All right.